is going to be a short weekend reading update video. So far this month I have finished one book. It is A Separate Peace by Knowles. That is a classic book. I thought it was so good. I loved the symbolism in it. I loved that the symbolism was so easy to detect that even I could understand it. And I was really impressed with just the way he wrote it. I thought this must have been really well planned. It was about a teenage boy living at a prep school in New Hampshire. About 1942, the boys were concerned about being drafted at the age of 18. That was like a major concern for them, of course, because it was World War II. And cars coming, so I'll wait. So I'm sitting at the side of the road. The Klamath River is in the background, and there may be some cars going by. I don't know. There's not too much traffic out this way, especially since there was a slide. So that kind of probably made it less attractive to a lot of people who normally travel this direction. So I came out here with a few books to read, naturally. I just finished reading my chapter a day in the Ramona book that I'm now reading. This is book number 5, Ramona and Her Mother. And that was just a car going by on the highway over there. Really enjoy this. I have one more chapter in this book to read and then I'll be done. And I'm excited. The next one in the series is Ramona Quimby, age 8, and that one is a Newbery Honor book, so I've really been looking forward to getting to that one especially. And I brought my copy of The Imitation of Christ. It is a book written in the Middle Ages by Thomas à Kempis, who was apparently a monk. And there's just a lot of wisdom in this book that I find really helpful or awesome. I wonder though how much I really internalize these things. I mean, probably a lot of it is already internalized and I'm just reading this saying, oh yes, I agree with that. It's so well stated. But you know, sometimes my reading, it just seems like it goes in one ear and out the other. For example, I'm reading a gardening book. It's called Organic Gardening, The No-Dig Method by Charles Dowding. And I have finished part 1, which is in general all that you need to know about the no-dig method of gardening. And then the second part is about different plants that you can put in your garden, different types of plants. Like the first one is about summer salads, and then he'll have a chapter on winter salads and another one on herbs and things like that. So I was wondering whether I should go ahead and read that, because any information on individual plants I don't think would be very helpful to me unless I was actually cultivating those plants at this time. And I think otherwise it's just going to be something that I read and I'm probably not going to retain much of what I read. I could give it a try, but you know, today I was over at Goodreads and somebody suggested a certain book from the 1970s that I had remembered reading when I was very young, in my 20s. And so I went to that page at Goodreads, and lo and behold, I had written a review of it back in 2016. I did not in any way remember having written that review. It's like things happen, and it's not because of my age, it's just because it's hard to remember things that you have done 5 or 6 years ago. Anyhow, I am also reading the Mitford book, and I'm doing it on my Kindle. And I just came across this in, I think on chapter 4, I'm not sure. maybe chapter 4, maybe 5. He has just gotten to the island where he's going to be working. The main character is an Episcopal priest, and he's going to be working at an island church that he's never been to before. And he got to the registry at the back of the church, and he found a sign that said this, and it really touched me deeply. It says, "Let the peace of this place surround you as you sit or kneel quietly. Let the hurry and worry of your life fall away. You are God's child. He loves you and cares for you and is here with you now and always. Speak to him thoughtfully. Give yourself time for him to bring things to mind." So when I read that in the book, which was supposedly a sign that he saw in the lobby of the church that he is going to be working at, I just read that and suddenly I just relaxed. Just as if that was speaking to me, that I should be the one who is letting the peace of this place surround me as I sit quietly, letting the hurry and the worry of life fall away from me. It just made me relax and feel so happy to follow those instructions and just to realize that, yeah, there is a lot of stuff happening in my life. I have a yard that is in desperate need of cultivation. I have true confessions time. I have taxes due in a few days, and I have not done my taxes, which are a little complex because I have some self-employment income. So I left it for the last minute. A company that I have done some work for the last 15 years suddenly said I did not have a W-9 form on file for them, and so they did not send me a 1099 MISC this year for the first time in like 15 years, and it kind of threw me off. So I've got all these little worries and concerns. But you know what? Just to relax and sit in the beauty of this place and to know that the Lord's taking care of me is such a relief. Such a beautiful thing. And made me feel good to just set aside my worldly concerns and remember that everything is going to be all right. So that is kind of what I'm up to today. I'm reading about 10 books now. I had actually more than 10 books on my reading list, and it was getting to be too much for me, believe it or not. Because I like to go from book to book during the day. It's not that I get bored with the books, it's just that after a while I just feel impatient to get on to something else. And so I like reading books that way, but 15 was too many books, so I cut my list down to 10, and I think I'll do better with that. 10 is more manageable. It's like I could probably get a little bit read on each of 10 books, and I've got the 2 juvenile books that I've been reading, which are We Dream of Space. I love that book. And the other one is What Hearts, which is an older Newbery honor book, and I'm almost done with both of them, which is good because I can write more book reviews. Remember, I was going to do a lot of book reviews this month. So this is what's up today, and I will just go ahead and end the video. Just wanted to say hello, hope you're having a good weekend, and we'll talk to you more later.